It's time for another closer look at a key Kentucky Derby contender.
What's up, guys? Jared Welch here, RacingDudes.com, here to take a closer look. Who else, right? You know who I'm going to talk about. Taiba. Who knows what this horse is going to go off at? If he's going to, it's been a wild last couple of weeks, wild week. Finally made it work. He's going to make one official work going into the Kentucky Derby. I've been on this horse for almost a month now, I guess. So, listen, it's time. It's time to go through the replays, and lucky for me, I only have 2 races to go over. It really isn't that hard to go in to figure out what this horse is about, because you've only seen him twice, and both races were brilliant. But let's take a look at both of them. Let's see if we see anything interesting. Anything we can go off of, as we lead up to the race. Any indications of what we might see? Obviously depending draw, you never know with the draw. The draw is gonna be critical this year. But let's kick things off with his debut. His debut going 6 furlongs in a maiden special weight at Santa Anita, and this was on March 5th. So yeah, March 5th was his first race there. All right, so you see he's a 4-horse. He comes out of the gate. And JV, John Velasquez, rides him pretty aggressively there to get him. That was the one thing about this race I thought was so interesting. He other than right here, he rides the horse pretty aggressively the entire way around. He's not on the lead yet in the first part of this race, although they are flying in here. They went very, very quick. Went 22 and 45, and. There you finally, I think more than anything, just his ability kind of outclassed this field. No doubt about that, really. He comes off of it there, and now, he's riding him. He's hit, he hasn't hit him yet, but he's definitely pumping on him, and he's pumping on him. It's his first start. It's a maiden special weight. His horse has, got some stuff to learn, and then it's over. Right? You wonder for half a second what he is, and then you realize, okay, he shows him the whip a few times, puts that patented gun runner head down a little bit here, and you'll see it about right here. He gets that head down and really starts striding out. That stride gets longer and longer. So that tells you, this horse is only getting better, as the race went on. So to me, and then he runs out and he's just much above everyone else. So the debut couldn't have been better. He got a I believe it was a 103 buyer on that race. He got a 2 thoroughgraph. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. The debut was great. Now that was March 5th. He worked a ton between then and his next race, which happened to be the Santa Anita Derby, which, no one expected really the Santa Anita Derby to be his next race. I like the horse. I claimed the horse in our fantasy league back in late February, early March, somewhere in there, right around this debut. And you still thought, well, it's too much for him to get to the Derby, but maybe Preakness horse, maybe Preakness. He shows up in the Santa Anita Derby, and, well, the rest is history there, right? So this was key. Watch him here. He comes out of the gate, and look, he can go straight to the lead. And don't forget, Forbidden Kingdom. Now, yes, he had issues late in the race, but he was Forbidden Kingdom early in this race. And he's right there. He's second place. He's right there. And he decides, Mike Smith decides, hey, I'll let Messier go. It's fine. And I'll back up, and I'll show you where he decides that. Right there, Messier wants to go. And Mike just says, all right, that's fine. We'll sit off him. We'll let you guys go. And this is where he comes off the bridle. And look, there you go. There's he kind of falls back. And for the naked eye, you might say, oh, he can't keep up. No, he disengaged. Second start, he disengaged. But when you watch that break, he could have gone right to the lead. And again, Forbidden Kingdom, very, very quick horse. That's going to be critical when it comes to the Kentucky Derby. His braking ability, where he wants to get placed. Now look, he's still just cruising. They're going quick. They're still going quick. Forbidden Kingdom, again, I know he had issues late in this race. He's still Forbidden Kingdom. Messier. Now Taiba is getting a little bit closer, getting position, but still, look, he can sit there within, striking distance, really the entire race. Has that high cruising speed that we've known to love. And right here, he's all business. He's got Messier in his sights. And again, you still think watching this race live, you're like, well, he's going to run a big race. He's just not, it's a second race. There's no way you can catch a Messier. Messier's gone. Messier puts Forbidden Kingdom away. And here's Taiba. He's coming. Look at it. And watch this. The patented gun runner. Look, here, right about here. He starts striding out. Boom. Puts that head down. Look at that stride. Keeps striding out. And he put Messier away with ease. And really, you didn't see that kind of late stride that we saw in his debut there as well. You didn't see that until late in the race. And I think that's very important because it just seems like when he gets in position, it's hard for him to stop. He's going to run. He's going to run, that target down. And the biggest thing for me, what I took from his Santa Anita Derby was his placement. He broke perfectly, and it was right there. He was in second place, really, for the start of that race, and could have been right even closer to Forbidden Kingdom. It wasn't like they were just going slow. I think it was, right at like a 40, almost a 46, 110. Got a 102 buyer for that race, and again, I'll talk a lot about thoroughgraphs here. A negative half, which is the only negative of the whole entire Derby field. Negative half. If you're a thoroughgraph person, obviously the lower the better, and that's pretty damn impressive. To compare, Epicenter, he's had 2.5. That's what his two performances have been. Epicenter, the Risen Star, got a 2.5. In the Louisiana Derby, he got a 2.5. Messier and the Robert B. Lewis got a 1.5. Santa Anita Derby got a 1.5. So he's very consistent, and he's definitely I think Messier is a very good candidate to get that down to 1 or even lower. Obviously, lower the better. But again, let's put this into perspective. Taiba debut, a 2, still better than Epicenter's 2 biggest races. Santa Anita Derby, a -1/2. Clearly much better than Epicenter's 2 races on a thoroughgraph level, okay? So the thoroughgraphs kind of take everything into account, and you cannot, sometimes horses can lose a race and still have a higher thorough than the winner, and it just takes more factors into place, ground traveled and how the turns and things of that nature. I think that's critical. I just keep falling back to that, and I get numbers are numbers, and you can go off 1,000 different numbers, but in my experience, when you're looking at a negative number for a 3-year-old this early, not to mention the horse has only ran twice, the second start ever he runs that, but you don't often see negative thorows for 3-year-olds this time of the year. You start to see them later in the year, if at all, for a 3-year-old. So to me, that's a critical part that I keep going on. And again, Messier, if you're not a Taiba, Messier, that negative, or that plus, the 1.5, I should say, back to back. 1's consistent. 2 shows you he's very eligible to run that, if not better. And again, if Taiba runs if he doesn't go back to that Santa Anita Derby and say he just runs like a 2, so he falls back to his debut, or even 2.5, well, he still puts him there with Epicenter. So just some things to think about. And I wanted to do this. I wanted to show you guys one more example. I keep talking about how much he reminds me, Taiba that is, of his sire, Gunrunner. And I pulled up the video of Gunrunner winning the Breeders' Cup Classic, and then, of course, with Taiba's Santa Anita Derby. And I wanted to show you kind of the side-by-side comparisons. It's very interesting when you put these two together, kind of what that looks like in terms of when they really get to running. So here you go. You got Gun Runner on the left, and you got Taiba Santa Anita Derby there on the right. And you just watch both of their head movements and their strides. Look at their heads just go down, and they're all business at the end of these races, and just finish these races off strong. They run a lot alike. They look a lot alike. I cannot keep going back and forth, or I keep watching this thing because it's so impressive to me how similar they look. And Taiba it's like, I know the workout issue, and it only went one work, and how good did it look? Did it look good? You know, we can debate that all we want. But talent alone, I don't frankly think it's that close in terms of what's in the field. I don't think he's justified. I think he's got a lot of factors against him. The draw will be very important, of course. But if he gets a good draw, and he's in the race, right? He's in the race. I don't think he's gonna be in the race if they don't think they can win. I mean, you're gonna get the value. I mean, what is it gonna be? 6, 8 to 1? Just based off of what we've been seeing from Zandon, what we've seen from Epicenter. Messier is getting a lot more buzz right now. Wouldn't be shocked to see Taiba at a solid price. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Taiba is the real deal? Are you playing against? Why are you playing against? I want to know. Leave the comments in below. The Derby, the draw's on Monday. This Monday, which is, what is that, the 2nd, the draw happens, and then shit's on. It's all going now. The guide coming out. The dudes will be at the Derby. But yeah, this is it. Taiba, let me know your thoughts below. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you subscribe. Tons of Derby content coming your way. Till next time. See you guys.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels. Never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,